Let me show you how we increased an e-commerce brand's opt-in rate by 5x with no redesign, no dev work, and no extra tools. This is especially important if you are running paid traffic. If you're not capturing as much of that valuable traffic as possible that you spent money acquiring and converting it into subscribers, nurturing it, and then eventually repeat customers, then you're not just reducing your ads ROAS, you're also reducing your profitability. The more qualified subscribers you can capture and nurture, the more revenue and profit your brand is going to generate. My name is Hussam, founder of PowerMyMarketing.com. We helped over 40 brands double, triple, and in some instances 7x their email revenue in as little as 30 days. I've been in ecom for over a decade and I've seen brands that continue to scale profitably year over year. I've also seen brands that plateau and eventually die off. One of the biggest levers successful brands pull to continue scaling profitably is to maximize the value of each single visitor they send to their website. And there is no better way to achieve that than capturing the maximum number of those visitors, nurturing them, and then converting them into customers. In this video, I'll reveal the 3 psychological principles that we use to increase our clients' opt-in rate to 21.40%. Stick till the end because I'm going to be sharing how we instantly convert 70 to 80% of those email subscribers into SMS subscribers with 2 minutes of work. Let's get straight into it. So in the first example, the client is in the supplements niche and he was getting a 4.22 opt-in rate using a Shopify app. We switched him to Klaviyo and implemented these 3 psychological principles, and we were able to take him to 21.40%, which is a 5x increase in opt-in rate. With the second client in the stress management tools, he was getting a 2.38% opt-in rate, which is pretty bad. And we were able to take him to 10.72%, which is a 4.5x increase. With the third client, she was getting a 7.81% opt-in rate, which is pretty decent. And we were able to take her to 12.53%, which is a 60% increase. And by the way, if you'd like us to significantly increase your opt-in rate by using these 3 psychological principles I'm going to be sharing with you shortly, then we're happy to implement this completely free of charge with no strings attached. It literally takes our team 20 minutes to implement. Just click on the link in the description to schedule a quick call with me. Now let's get back to the video. So these brands that I've just shown you were technically doing everything right. They had fantastic products, they had a great website, good amount of traffic, and the standard 10% to 15% pop-up. And yet they were only able to capture a small percentage of their traffic through their pop-up. Let's say the average capture rate is about 5%. That means that 95 out of every 100 visitors were leaving with no way to follow up. This is basically like going on a date with someone and not taking their phone numbers, hoping to randomly bump into them somehow in the future. So let's go through the typical pop-up that you see most ecom brands use: save 10%, 15%, $10, etc. And then they ask enter your email below to get your coupon or discount. People enter their emails and then they click sign up, and then they will receive an email with their coupon. And this used to work very, very well, but now it's overly used. People are now incredibly resistant to it because they've seen it a million times before. This is basically the subscribe to our newsletter equivalent that used to work 10 or 15 years ago. And the problem with this is that it adds a ton of friction immediately when someone lands on the website, or maybe after a delay when you ask them for their email. So when they land, maybe after 15 seconds, they see the pop-up and then they know that they need to enter their email to get the coupon. Then this adds friction and they are more likely to close that pop-up. This typically results in a 1 to 4 opt-in rate. Now let's talk about the first psychological principle that we use, and it's called commitment and consistency. And this is a principle that you will find in Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, and it's also backed by scientific studies. This is actually the exact same principle that those people on the street use when they come to you and ask you a question that they are 99% sure that you're gonna say yes to. And the thinking behind it is that they are trying to get that micro yes or micro commitment, because the more of those you give up front, the more likely you are going to say yes when they give you their offer at the end. So they always ask you a question like, do you care about dogs? Do you like dogs? Do you care about the environment, etc.? And then they lead you through a series of small compliant tests so they can ask you for the donation at the end. And the reason this works incredibly well is that people hate cognitive dissonance. If you said initially that you cared about dogs or animals, and then at the end you refuse to pay that small donation, then you're going to feel very, very icky about it, because nobody wants to be perceived as a liar. And the way we use this principle is by adding what's called a pre-opt-in. So instead of asking people directly for their email address, we ask for their permission first. We ask for that micro yes or micro commitment. So we say, would you like a 10% off coupon or gift or maybe discount. And then once they click yes, then they go to the second screen where they need to enter their email. This has a much higher compliance rate because once people click yes, they committed that micro action or micro yes, then they go to the second screen. They are more likely to enter their email and opt in. So this is the first principle. The second one is called self-identification. And you see a lot of popular brands use it. For example, Everyday Dose is coffee company, and then Grüns. And the way it works is that they say something like unlock 61% off plus free gifts and a dairy creamer plus. And then they basically choose different categories, whether it's a pain point, a desired outcome, an industry or trade, etc. So in this example, you see brain health and focus with the Everyday Dose, energy, gut health, overall well-being. And with Grüns, it's the same thing: gut health, brain health and focus, energy, and then comprehensive nutrition. And the reason this works is that it gets people to self-identify. The moment someone clicks on a problem or a desired outcome that they identify with, they are already invested and they are more likely to enter their email in the next step. So we can use this in different ways. Let's say, for example, you sell trade tools. You can say choose your trade or industry. Let's say you sell skincare products. You ask them to choose a problem or a pain point, for example, acne or other types of conditions, where they can click to self-identify and then go to the second screen. One thing to keep in mind here is that make sure that you understand your ideal customer profile very, very well and know exactly the top categories, the top pain points, or the top desired outcomes. For example, with the Grüns here, they have gut health, they have brain health and focus, energy, comprehensive nutrition, and then maybe there is a big portion of their target demographic that they would like better sleep as a desired outcome. If you don't have it in the choices here, then you are more likely to lose those people. However, one way to circumvent this, as you can see both Everyday Dose and Grüns use, is to use something that is a little bit general that applies to pretty much everyone. You will see here they had 3 specific categories, and then the fourth one they said overall well-being, which applies to a big portion of their audience. The same thing for Grüns here as well. They say comprehensive nutrition. So let's go through the third psychological principle, which is mystery, and curiosity really works wonders here. So instead of highlighting exactly the type of offer that you are gonna give them, for example, get 10% off or 15% off, or maybe a free gift or something like that, you tell them, would you like a mystery coupon or a mystery discount or a mystery gift or something like that? So basically use mystery to your advantage, and curiosity will get people to opt in at much higher rates. And you will see that Dr. Squatch, a very big name in the ecom space, is using curiosity to get more subscribers. They say, congratulations, you've got a mystery offer. So if, for example, you are offering 10% off, you don't mention it in the pop-up, you say, would you like a mystery offer? People click yes, they go to the second screen. You still don't mention it. You say, enter your email below to get your mystery offer. And then once people opt in, they are more curious to go to check their email to see what type of offer they got. And this is why this principle works incredibly well. So a bonus tip here is to add SMS as well. And I know that a lot of ecom brand owners I talk to, they are a little bit reserved when it comes to SMS. They are not sure, and maybe they think that SMS could be a little bit annoying to their subscribers. And they are actually right. SMS is very personal and we use it differently than we use email. However, it can add 10 to 15% to your monthly revenue if used correctly. So why do we add SMS? The internet has never had this much noise before, and it'll get even worse with AI content that is bombarding social media at the moment. So it's very, very important to have the ability to reach your customers via multiple channels. The second reason is that SMS simply has the highest engagement rate. So 95+% open rate, which is crazy, and 20% click rate compared to email, which typically gets around 30-35% open rate and maybe 1 to 1.5% click rate. The third reason is that it's great for busy periods like the Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or the holiday season, because email becomes incredibly crowded and pretty much sometimes unusable. So it's very, very important to be able to send your offers via SMS and make sure that the majority of your subscribers are going to see those offers. So the way we ask for the phone number is by using a multi-step opt-in. So what I see some brands do is they ask for the email and the phone number on the same screen, and this adds a ton of friction and significantly reduces opt-in rates. Expedia actually ran a study on this a few years ago, and by them just removing one field from their checkout, they were able to make an extra $12 million. So this is very, very important. And the second way to get more of those email subscribers to convert into SMS subscribers is to offer more incentives. So it's not just enough to say, hey, opt in here to get your mystery offer via email, and then say the same thing via SMS, because a lot of people will just opt in via email and not SMS, which is okay. You already have their email, you can contact them. But if you really want to maximize how many email subscribers convert into SMS subscribers, then you need to position SMS as a higher tier or a VIP. So what we typically say is VIPs get our biggest offers. Sign up with your number for first dibs on our newest products, exclusive VIP offers, maybe say limited drops or limited restocks, etc. Another way you can do it if you're offering discounts is to offer an upgraded discount. Let's say, for example, you were giving 10% off when people sign up via email. Sometimes we upgrade that to 15% off when they opt in via SMS. And that will get you the highest amount of email subscribers converting into SMS subscribers, as high as 80 to 90%. One important thing to keep in mind here is to keep an eye on your unsubscribe rates. For the majority of the ecom brands we set this up for, we don't see a significant increase in unsubscribe rates. So basically we try to keep it below the industry benchmark, which is 0.3%, to ensure that they have really good deliverability. However, it's good to check your unsubscribe rate for the next couple of weeks and see if it actually went significantly higher, because if you get really high unsubscribe rates, then this sends a negative signal to these email apps like Gmail and Yahoo, and they are more likely to land your emails in the promotions tab or even worse, the spam folder. So this is something to keep in mind. And the reason why sometimes it happens is when you use curiosity to get people to opt in at a higher rate. Some of those people, for example, they go to the inbox, they check the offer. If it's too small for them, they just end up unsubscribing, which is not a big deal. For example, let's say that your unsubscribe rate was 0.1%, and then now it has become 0.15% or 0.2%, which is still way below the industry benchmark, but now you are getting 3x more subscribers. So it's a small trade-off in order for you to be able to get way more subscribers that you can nurture and turn into customers. That being said, we've never had a single issue with unsubscribe rates with any of our clients before. So to sum it up, use a pre-opt-in to get people to micro-commit first before asking for their email. Second is to get them to self-identify with a problem or outcome or industry. Use mystery to get them curious about what the offer is going to be. Add SMS through a multi-step opt-in, and then watch your opt-in rate 2x, 3x, or even 5x. This is simply the highest leverage lever in your entire retention strategy. The more leads or subscribers you can get through the funnel, the more revenue and profit your brand is going to be generating, as long as those subscribers are qualified, obviously, because I see some brands use maybe giveaways or contests to drive some random people that they have no interest in buying from them. They're just interested in winning that prize, and that will just dilute the quality of your subscribers. So we use some of these same principles to take Ryan from Hostory from 12% to 40% of attributed email and SMS revenue. Dana from Kingsman Premium, we consistently stayed over 40% of email and SMS attributed revenue, and we peaked at 53%. And we also helped Sachin at Fluoro Store increase his email revenue by 7x. And if you'd like to watch more of these video testimonials, you can check out our website at powermymarketing.com. If you'd like us to set this up for you for free, we're happy to set up an A/B test against your existing pop-up and then give it a week depending on your traffic level to reach statistical significance and see which opt-in is performing better. So if you're interested, click on the first link in the description to schedule a quick call with me. As a bonus, I also included a step-by-step in-depth guide in the description below on how to capture as much of your traffic as possible and convert it into subscribers that you can nurture and turn into repeat customers. This is 48 pages of in-depth recommendations that will significantly increase your opt-in rate. You will find these psychological principles that I highlighted in this video, plus much more. So click on the last link in the description to download it for free. And if you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one.